When you're born into fame, people assume you're destined for greatness. From the very moment the world learned that rap icon T.I. had a son, the public expected the boy to grow into the shadow of the empire his father built. They pictured a golden child draped in designer clothes, stepping into the family business, carrying the torch of a dynasty that had dominated hip-hop for decades. But reality is never as glamorous as the fantasy. And for King Harris, being born into fame wasn't a blessing, it was a burden. Instead of carving out his own lane, King Harris was constantly compared to his father's legendary career. Instead of finding support in the spotlight, he became the target of endless criticism, a punching bag for gossip blogs, paparazzi, and fans who expected him to be someone he never wanted to be. And as the years passed, instead of following in T.I.'s footsteps, King Harris seemed to rebel against everything his father represented. Where T.I. was disciplined, King Harris was reckless. Where T.I. was calculated, King Harris was explosive. And where T.I. valued image above all else, King Harris couldn't care less. The world watched as King Harris' antics grew louder and wilder. Viral livestream meltdowns, reckless nights caught on camera, arguments spilling into the streets, his life became tabloid gold. Every week seemed to bring a new headline, and while fans laughed, debated, and mocked, something darker was brewing behind the closed doors of the Harris family mansion. Tension, frustration, resentment, and finally, collapse. Because nothing, not even decades of fame and fortune, could prepare the world for the day that T.I. publicly disowned his only son. And when King Harris found himself cut off from the money, the mansions, and the life of privilege he had always known, he had no choice but to pack his bags and find shelter where he could. But no one expected where he'd land. Not with family, not with loyal friends, but with his new boyfriend, King Harris' boyfriend. And just like that, a story about family struggle transformed into a firestorm about identity, loyalty, and survival. This is the shocking saga of how the son of one of hip-hop's most powerful men lost everything overnight and started a brand new chapter in the most unexpected place. To understand how we got here, you have to understand the world King Harris was born into. T.I. wasn't just a rapper, he was an empire. Platinum albums, sold-out tours, luxury brand deals, and a reputation that extended beyond music. He was the blueprint for success in hip-hop. To the world, he was a mogul. But to King Harris, he was an impossible standard. From childhood, King Harris was photographed at red carpets, seated courtside at basketball games, living the life of privilege the public envied. But what those glossy photos didn't show were the expectations weighing on his shoulders. T.I. wasn't just a father, he was a machine, a brand, a man obsessed with legacy. And to T.I., legacy meant control. Every detail of his family's life was carefully curated for public consumption. Every move was calculated, every word monitored. King Harris, however, was different. From an early age, he hated the spotlight. Teachers remembered him as disruptive, quick to anger, and resistant to authority. By his teenage years, the cracks were visible to anyone paying attention. He clashed with paparazzi, swore at reporters, and gained a reputation for being difficult. But the real turning point came when social media gave him a platform. Instead of being silenced, King Harris turned to live streams, late-night rants, and unfiltered posts. He attacked critics, he mocked fans, and worst of all, he began throwing jabs at his own father. It was messy, it was public, and it was only the beginning. For years, insiders whispered about the volatile relationship between father and son. They said T.I. tried everything: therapy, private schools, financial incentives, but nothing worked. King Harris didn't want to be molded into the image of his father. He wanted freedom, even if it meant chaos. The final straw came in a live stream that would go down as the moment everything unraveled. King Harris looked into the camera, surrounded by friends, and said the words that set the internet on fire. "My dad's a washed-up rapper who only cares about money. He don't care about me. He never did." The clip spread like wildfire. Millions of views in hours. Memes, reactions, commentary videos, every corner of the internet was buzzing. And T.I.? He was silent for less than 24 hours before making the most drastic move of his life. According to multiple insiders, T.I. called an emergency meeting with his lawyers and managers. His decision was swift. King Harris was cut off completely. His credit cards were frozen. His cars repossessed. Access to the mansion revoked. For the first time in his life, King Harris had no financial safety net, no fallback plan, no empire to shield him. The fallout was immediate. Tabloids plastered headlines. T.I. DISO demands his own son, and King Harris kicked out after explosive live stream. The internet was divided. Some fans cheered T.I., saying it was tough love. Others slammed him, accusing him of abandoning his child for the sake of image. But regardless of the debate, one fact remained. King Harris was on his own. With no mansion to return to and no family to take him in, King Harris turned to the one person who never abandoned him, his boyfriend, King Harris' boyfriend. Their relationship had been whispered about in gossip blogs for months, but most people dismissed it as a rumor. King Harris had been seen at parties with King Harris' boyfriend, in Instagram stories, in cryptic comments, but nothing confirmed. That all changed the night King Harris moved in with him. Suddenly, photos surfaced of King Harris in King Harris' boyfriend's small apartment. No chandeliers, no marble floors, no fleets of luxury cars parked outside. Just a modest living room, a couch, and two people figuring out life together. For fans, it was a shock. The son of one of hip-hop's wealthiest muggles reduced to sleeping in a cramped apartment. The internet wasted no time, flooding timelines with jokes, memes, and think pieces. Some mocked King Harris, saying he went from mansions to mattresses. Others celebrated him, calling his move brave and proof that he was finally living authentically. But beneath the noise, something deeper was happening. For the first time, King Harris had no one to rely on but himself and King Harris' boyfriend. According to those close to the couple, King Harris' boyfriend has been the steady anchor, cooking meals, paying bills, and keeping King Harris grounded. For King Harris, who had spent his life in chaos, King Harris' boyfriend represented stability. And, for the first time, his survival wasn't tied to his father's empire. While King Harris adjusted to his new reality, the public debate raged on. Was T.I. right to cut his son off, or had he gone too far? Critics accused T.I. of prioritizing his image over his child. One viral tweet read, "You can have millions in the bank and still be the poorest man alive if you abandon your son." Supporters of T.I., however, argued that enough was enough. That King Harris had disrespected his father too many times. That sometimes tough love is the only option. But King Harris didn't stay silent. In a TikTok filmed from King Harris' boyfriend's apartment, he looked straight into the camera and said, "He wanted me gone. Fine, I'm still here, still standing, and for the first time, I'm free." The video racked up millions of views. Fans flooded the comments with both love and hate, but one thing was clear, King Harris wasn't backing down. Meanwhile, T.I. doubled down too. In an interview, he said, "Sometimes you gotta let people fall, so they learn how to stand. I'll always love my son, but I won't enable him anymore." The words sounded wise to some, cold to others, and the divide grew deeper. However, King isn't just dating, he's serious. Serious enough that his boyfriend is laying down rules. And those rules? They're shocking the internet. Because before King can pack his bags and move in with his man, there's one condition: they have to get married first. For months, fans have speculated about King's love life. Between cryptic posts, late-night live streams, and paparazzi sightings, rumors have been swirling that he's found someone special. And now, sources close to the situation confirm it. King has been seeing someone seriously, and the two have gotten closer than ever. But here's where things get interesting. While most young couples move in together after dating for a while, this relationship is running on a different timeline. King's boyfriend, who has so far kept a low public profile, reportedly told him that he's not comfortable living together without a deeper commitment. To him, sharing a home is more than just a convenience, it's a vow. And unless King is ready to take that next step, there will be no moving boxes, no spare key, and no shared closet space. At first, fans brushed this off as gossip. But the whispers have grown louder, and now the conversation has exploded online. Could it really be true? That King Harris, the son of one of hip-hop's most outspoken figures, was given an ultimatum about marriage before living with his own partner. According to insiders, yes, the boyfriend reportedly told King that he's not trying to play trial husband. If they're going to share bills, responsibilities, and a roof over their heads, then the foundation needs to be built on marriage. And King, he's torn. On one hand, he's young, rebellious, and loves his independence. On the other, this might be the first time someone in his life is demanding real accountability instead of enabling him. This isn't about fame. It isn't about money. It's about commitment. And for someone like King, that's a whole new kind of pressure. Of course, this wouldn't be a Harris family storyline without the added layer of family drama. Insiders claim that when whispers of the marriage before cohabitation ultimatum reached King's parents, the reactions were mixed. T.I., known for his strong opinions, reportedly feels his son is too young to rush into marriage. He's lived his entire adult life in the public eye, and he knows how quickly young relationships can crumble under pressure. Tiny, on the other hand, is said to be more supportive of King's freedom to choose, though she worries about whether this decision is coming from love or from rebellion. The family dynamic adds another layer of tension. If King decides to accept his boyfriend's conditions and get married, it won't just be a private union. It'll be a public spectacle, and knowing the internet, everyone will have something to say about it. Naturally, social media has erupted with takes. Some fans are applauding the boyfriend stance, saying it shows maturity and seriousness. One viral comment read, "Finally, someone holding King accountable. If you want to play house, put a ring on it first." Others think the demand is controlling. Another fan posted, "Why rush into marriage just to live together? That's a setup for disaster." So what's next for King Harris? Some insiders claim he's working on music of his own, a project that tells his side of the story. Others believe he'll lean into social media fame, turning his chaotic lifestyle into content and building an audience outside his father's shadow. What's clear is that his relationship with King Harris' boyfriend has become the centerpiece of his new life. For the first time, King Harris is not defined by his last name, his father's money, or the empire he was born into. He's defined by his choices. And whether people love or hate him, he's finally living life on his own terms. As for T.I., the world is watching to see if he'll soften. Some believe he'll eventually reconcile with his son. Others say the damage is permanent. After all, in the world of fame and fortune, pride often weighs heavier than love. This isn't just a story about a rebellious son and a disappointed father. It's a story about legacy, image, survival, and the choices we make when family and fame collide. So now we ask you, do you think T.I. was right to cut off King Harris? Was this tough love or betrayal? And is King Harris' boyfriend really the stability King Harris needs, or just another chapter in the chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because one thing's for certain, this saga is far from over.